So, what is up, guys? It looks like Perdition Dragon was finally revealed, so let's go over this bad boy for you. So, Legion's with this 9k, which just becomes a 12k as a rear guard. If this unit is Legion, this is continuous. Counterblast 2 and discard a card with the same name as your Vanguard, so 2 choices. And if you're, in addition, if your opponent, and then retire 2 of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards. In addition, if your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less cards, deal 1 damage to your opponent. All trigger effects are nullified for that damage check. So this is good against Seekers that keep recycling their Gant slots, which are more so likely going to be hit on the 4th damage possibly. But if you use this effect and you nullify it, you're good to go. That hits over the magic number. And by magic number, you just have to hit over 11k, since if you do this on 4th damage and you eliminate the front row, this will definitely benefit you at the end of the day of swinging for game. Like I said, Perdition Dragon kept his effect for 0, so he makes you have to have 3 PGs in hand when you're at 4th damage, or it's game over. So this is a card to be feared. Like we said, the G2 is only a 12k beat stick. And Perdition Battler Maliko. When your opponent's rear guard in the same column as this unit is retired by your card effect, if your Vanguard is a Perdition, there you go. Soul Blast 1 to countercharge 1. So you get to countercharge your retires. So there's many ways that this clan can retire, possibly. They have their own Berserk type of dragon situation as well. So there's going to be ways to countercharge. So it's going to be like CB1 at the end of the day for each time you retire something, which is good. And obviously this card in general is good because it retires grade 2 or less. So again, you can kill 2 boosters, you can kill a G2 and G1 column, depending, or if they put a G2 in the back, you kill the 2 G2s, deal the 1 damage, and it's nullified. So all you have to do is hit 11k on the 5th damage, which is great. It's really good. Obviously, this effect is nice. I mean, keeping this as a TCG format is really good. And now there is a countercharger for set Vanguard, so you could technically use Berserk Dragon if you wanted to, depending on if all the other Perdition cards stand out. You can use Berserk Dragon and CB1 pretty much at the end of the day. If you have CB2, you spend CB2, but you get a countercharge back since your Vanguard might just be a Perdition Dragon. So that's nice. They got a nice G1 countercharger, but you got a Soul Blast 1 to countercharge. But judging from this effect, you don't really need the soul. The soul at best is for you just to charge up for Legion, in a sense, since you're trying to Legion. Soul Blasting is good. We may have not gotten the Soul Blast 2 units, but this is going to help benefit your drop zone, make it fast. And obviously you're going to hold on to a copy of this G3 in your hand. Could you use actually Draco Kid Forerunner? Possibly, yes. I mean, use it early, get a copy of this so you're prepped for the rest of the game. And you're good to go if you wanted to do it that way. Because, again, there's only one way to do this effect, and there's a limited amount of units besides minusing 2. So there's 6 cards in the deck that trigger this effect. So you have to get, out of a 40-card deck, you have to at least draw one of these to do it. So you might even have to hold on to the G2 if you had a copy in your hand, so you know you can do this effect. So on and so forth. And A, you'll be able to countercharge. This effect does actually stack. If you put this in the right and left columns, you will be able to countercharge 2 by Soul Blasting 2. So again, you keep your CB, in a sense. So that's actually really good. The fact they let him keep his effect is amazing, believe it or not. I thought they would actually change it to CB3 and make it like, oh, this is going to be used once. But they made it a once per turn effect for a good reason, because being able to nullify triggers twice from 2 to 4 or something, they lose draw triggers, I don't know. But the once per turn is justified. That makes this balanced. And you already know you're going to be using this effect at least by 4th damage. But if you have multiple copies and you know you can do the effect twice, nothing really holding you back there. It's another way to keep pushing. That's another good thing about this unit in general. The pushing is always going to be there. If you can Persona Blast maybe on 3rd damage and you're able to push them to 5, that's good. They heal. Guess what? Do the Perdition effect. They go back to 5. They still need 3 PGs to live. At the end of the day, fighting Kagros in general, you're going to have 3 PGs, or you'll automatically lose the game. The only way you'll live is by a 6 damage heal at best. So you need 3 PGs or a 6 damage heal to survive Newt, because that's the only way you can actually lose to Newt, if not having 3 PGs and or not getting a 6 damage heal. So this card is really good. I call this a top tier card for a lot of reasons, just because this effect ain't too hard to pull off, especially there's ways to search out a G3 with Draco Kid, and I'm pretty sure some of the Perdition effects might benefit this, depending if any of them have a search engine, or Kagros have a G3 searcher. Who knows? But we'll see. Obviously, Draw Turbo is obviously going to draw you G3s. Keep in mind, this card benefits more in Draw Turbo decks due to the fact that, A, with Draw Turbo, the G3 draws a G3, the G3 draws you this copy, you're good to go. You won't be able to re-Legion, but you'll be good to go. Or you just sack the G2. Either way, it's really good. Nice to see Newt keep his beautiful TCG effect for Zero's format, and honestly, I am excited to see tomorrow, which will be Link Joker. We'll see if Link Joker can counter Newt's special effect. And by that, I mean they'll barely stop it, but again, 2 PGs. At the end of the day, Newt's forced to be reckoned with, even with Link Joker. If Link Joker doesn't at least lock 2 front rows, yeah. They have to have at least 2 PGs to live kind of that turn, and that can help them, because again, they can just re-Legion and lock again the front row and swing for game. Then your opponent has to have 4 PGs, which Kagros usually have 4 PGs. Again, just depends on the situation, how your hand's looking, but Newt translated very strong in Zero, which is a very good sign to see, and obviously Kagros will run the meta. This just means the people that are playing Percival and the Gold Paladin Liberator Legions, there's going to be a lot more Garmers now, because Garmer will protect, so it limits your opponent. So retire in addition if your opponent damage zone has 4 or less. So technically, wording aside, here's how I look at the card. It says, if this is counterblast 2 to retire 2 of your opponent's great 2 or less rear guards. In addition is a separate effect, so you don't have to retire the units to deal the 1 damage. The damage is definitely dealt to the opponent. It's just Garbo will protect the units. It's like playing Seal Dragons, where like retire, and then the additional effect, look at the top 2 cards and place it where the unit was retired. But the Seals were actually able to bypass the Garmer thing on G1s kind of at the end of the day. You're just replacing the G2 with another G2, so you're kind of making them lose intercepts faster and so on and so forth. So Perdition Drag, it doesn't even have to retire the grade 2s. The grade 2s is part 1 of the effect. Part 2 of the effect is dealing the damage. So again, if you're fighting Garmer, you're still dealing the 1 damage, except you're knocking out 1 PG. So on and so forth. It's not bad. It's pretty good. It's really good to say the least. I mean, seriously, this is a great card. I'm actually happy for it. Not only this video that we were going to talk about Perdition, I did want to bring up the Magnolia thing. I actually started up the game here. Believe it or not, when Magnolia was released today in today's society, obviously the deck it's going to benefit is Great Nature in general, because Great Nature is the one clan with a bunch of high beast units. And I'm going to type high beast so you understand that. I mean, there's high beasts in other clans, but Great Nature has a lot for the Stoichia part, so obviously you're going to be running Magnolia in a Great Nature build regardless, because you can't run Magnolia in any other freaking build besides Great Nature. So that's good, because you have the Binocular Tigers, you can make them strong, and then you can boost other columns by 4,000. If these Binocular Tigers did attack, or you gave yourself 3 attacks, you can boost by 4,000. There's many things you can do. You don't even have to do that. Obviously, there's some G3 high beasts. I mean, giving Leo a chance to attack from back row is good. And if you have 3 chances to attack from back row, Leo can boost a unit by 4,000. So again, Leo can boost anything by 4,000. All you need is 11k. Obviously, we're talking 5th damage here. And Leo gives the profit to the back row. In case your opponent played 2 more intercepts, you need a way to hit over the number. Leo will help in the situations. It's definitely going to be a Leo Magnolia deck in the sense of you want to hit those numbers to really profit off Magnolia in general. And if you do the Persona ride and you have nothing but Leos, you'll be good to go, because that'll be good enough. Max will possibly just choosing like 2 Leos. I think the back row might go to Magnolia for swinging at the end of the day, because Magnolia actually needs some extra. I think Magnolia actually no, if you Persona Blast, Magnolia doesn't need a booster anymore. She's at 16k. That way you can play a different unit in the back, and that gives you 3 more attacks on Vanguard. So if you have 2 Leos, hypothetically speaking, 2 Leos, Binocular, something like that, you'll be able to get away with some plays. But yeah, definitely Magnolia was only going to be meant for Great Nature. it's like it can't play in like any other deck besides Great Nature. But don't forget, there's also the Magnolia cards, the G2, that gain power and stuff without the Tiger. So again, many ways to play Magnolia, but the best Magnolia version is going to be Great Nature in general. So that is good. I mean, maybe we'll see a nice profile on Magnolia and all that. So that's good. I just wanted to bring that up real quick in today's reveal. But yes, a countercharger, G1, everything is gravy. Honestly, we have to see more of the Perdition stuff to kind of have a final analysis. Obviously, there's Pain Laser Dragon, and once we see what Pain Laser Dragon does, we'll have a better outlook on the deck in general. Because technically, you can use Berserk Dragon in this deck as long as Perdition is your Vanguard. So you're good to go. Obviously, there's Selective Soul Blasters, so if you rode this G2, you did Berserk Dragon, and then you rode on top of G3, you did a Berserk Dragon or something, you countercharge back up. Stuff like that. You throw this in drop, and then you can Legion. Easy stuff like that. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all be good. Y'all stay safe, and we'll see what Link Joker is all about by tomorrow, boys. Peace out.